Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tell you a story. A story about two of nature's most essential gifts, things we often take for granted.
So, let's meet our main characters, Bhumi and Surya. They're visiting their grandmother, Aji, in her village. You know the kind of place. It's a world away from the city hustle. The air feels cleaner, the water's clearer. But what they're about to find out is that these simple gifts, well, they're not so simple after all.
Okay, so their journey kicks off one morning. Aji shows them this really simple breathing exercise. And she explains that when you take these deep, mindful breaths, you're filling your lungs with pure air. It's like this invisible key, right? The key to staying healthy and feeling energized.
Think about this for a second. How long can you really go without breathing? It's a pretty intense question, right? I mean, we can go weeks without food, a few days without water, but without air? We're talking minutes, just minutes. And that's all because our bodies are constantly, desperately crying out for one specific thing to keep running: oxygen.
So you'd think the air is mostly oxygen, right? That's what we need. But check this out. A massive 78% of the air we're breathing in right now is actually nitrogen. Kind of wild, isn't it? The oxygen that we're so obsessed with, it's a way smaller piece of the puzzle. And that brings us to the magic number, 21%. Yeah, it's not the biggest part of the air, not by a long shot, but this 21%, this is the fuel. It's the fuel for pretty much all life on Earth. We're talking everything from the tiniest bug to a blue whale in, yep, us too.
But air isn't just for breathing, right? When it gets moving, it turns into this powerful, totally invisible force we call wind. And Aji shows the kids that this isn't just something you feel on your face, it's something you can actually play with.
So they make a super simple pinwheel. Just a square of paper, a couple of cuts, a pin, that's it. It looks like nothing, really. But the second they start running, the wind grabs it, and this little paper toy just comes to life, spinning like crazy. And that's not magic. It's a perfect, real-time demo of the power of moving air. And here's where it gets really cool. This simple little toy perfectly explains a huge idea. You see, the exact same principle that makes a kid's paper pinwheel go round and round, that's what turns these gigantic wind turbines. It is literally the same force, just captured on an absolutely massive scale.
So what are these giant pinwheels for, anyway? Well, for centuries, we've used them for essential stuff, like grinding flour or pumping water from wells. But today, their biggest, most important job is making clean electricity. All across India, in places like Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan, you'll find these huge wind farms harnessing this ancient power to fuel our modern world, all without polluting the very air we need to survive.
All right, so moving on from air, the kids are about to discover the next treasure. They're out helping Aji water her garden, and she teaches them a lesson that is just so important. Water is life itself. And because of that, you should never, ever waste a single drop.
It's so easy to take water for granted. We turn on a tap, and there it is. But our entire civilization, it's literally built on water. Think about it. The food we eat, the clothes we wear, even the electricity that powers our cities, every single part of modern life comes back to this one simple molecule.
When you see pictures of Earth from space, what do you see? A beautiful blue marble, right? And that's because about 2/3 of our planet is covered in water. So you'd think, wow, we have an endless supply. But there's a huge catch.
And this is it, the big catch. Almost all of that water is salt water. You can't drink it, you can't grow crops with it. The fresh water we actually need to live, the stuff in our rivers, our lakes, and deep underground, it's just a tiny, tiny, precious fraction of all that blue. And that's the great paradox of our so-called blue planet. So, knowing how incredibly rare fresh water is, well, protecting it isn't just a nice thing to do. It's our duty. It's a responsibility. And yet, so often, we waste this precious resource without even thinking about it, just going about our daily lives. I mean, look at how easily it happens. Leaving the tap running when you brush your teeth, taking that extra long shower, ignoring that little drip, drip, drip from a faucet. They all seem like such small things, right? But when you multiply that by millions and millions of people, it adds up to a staggering amount of wasted water. But the good news is, the solutions are just as simple. Turn off the tap. Take a shorter shower. Fix that leak. And we have to remember, for millions of people, this isn't just about conservation. It's about survival, every single day. In so many parts of India and all around the world, people have to walk for hours just to collect the water that we get by just turning a handle. For them, every single drop is a victory. And when you think about that, It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? It makes saving water not just a good habit, but a real moral responsibility. But here's what Aji teaches the kids next, and it's a really powerful idea. To solve the problems we face today, we don't always need some fancy new invention. Sometimes the best, most powerful solutions are the ones we can find by looking back, by learning from the wisdom of the past. Let's take rainwater harvesting, for example. For centuries in India, this simple but totally brilliant idea has been the key to survival. Think about it. Instead of just letting all that powerful monsoon rain wash away, communities figured out how to capture it, how to store it. They created a lifeline that would get them through the long, dry seasons.
Or how about these incredible structures? They're called boweris, or step wells. You find them in the really dry parts of India, like Rajasthan and Gujarat, and they are true architectural marvels. I mean, they were so cleverly designed to reach deep down to get groundwater, but also to catch any rain that fell. For hundreds of years, these weren't just wells, they were the heart of the community.
And all of this really gets to the heart of Aji's lesson. It's a huge shift in how we think about things. These gifts from nature, the clean air, the fresh water, they're not something we own, not really. We're just looking after them. We're borrowing them from the generations that are going to come after us. So our biggest job, our most important duty, is to protect these treasures and pass them on in good shape.
So the story of Bhumi and Surya might be ending, but our story, our responsibility, goes on. The question Aji asks them isn't really just for them. It's for all of us. Now that we know, now that we've been reminded just how precious and fragile these gifts are, what's the one small change you're going to make? What's one thing you'll do starting today to help protect them?